Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row for BuckIQ. You know that Zach Boren is back in the building, so we're going to be talking about those silver bullets. There's a lot to say about them. Ohio State absolutely pounding Michigan State in a top 10 matchup in the Horseshoe on Saturday, 56-7. I'm not sure that either of those scores are really indicative of how much that game was dominated by the Buckeyes. I think we can start, as we always do, by saying, Zach, they earned the silver bullet moniker on Saturday.
They most definitely did. That was a complete domination. We talked about it all last week, is that Kenneth Walker was coming in here as a Heisman hopeful, really at that point, the number 3 guy in line behind CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. And they had to focus on the run. And when you tell Ohio State to get inside a box and man up and stop the run, guess what? They can do that. They're built on that toughness. That's what the silver bullet defense is built upon. And that's what this defense showed on Saturday, man. They looked unbelievable. But, man, this is the biggest week of the year now. Some of the biggest will be one of the biggest weeks of some of these guys' lives moving forward. And so this is a big one this week, and you have to be able to stop the run again.
How do you balance that, Zach, we know that what the challenge will be in the big house on Saturday, and there's so much other stuff that goes on throughout the week that can be a distraction. You have the band coming in, the cool stuff, obviously the traditions, you're not going to get rid of that, but Thanksgiving in the middle, high stakes game, outside conversation. This has just got to be a very, fun but challenging 6 and 7 days.
It is. It's fun, though. And the great thing that I know all the Ohio State coaches have done when I was playing, and I know Ryan Day does the same thing, is even though there's a lot going on, they kind of close the ranks a little bit. Everyone becomes tighter. There's not as many random people walking around the Woody Hayes. They really shut you off from the outside. It's, hey, let's become closer. Let's link arms. We know we're going to an all-out battle this Saturday. Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on, but at the end of the day, it's the 105 guys in the locker room and the coaching staff that really is going to war.
And you have to take your defense on the road, of course, even with a high-powered offense like Ohio State has. The rivalry here, the other side, they've got a pretty balanced attack. They're second in the league in rushing. They're not quite as explosive with the passing attack. That's hurt them in this series in the past. When you look at what Ohio State is facing on Saturday, where do you see the biggest challenge, Zach?
There's 2 things in this rivalry, especially going on the road. You have to be able to stop the run. Number 1, you got to buck up, say, hey, man, every yard that you earn is going to feel like 2 yards, right? From your standpoint, you are going to be working so damn hard to run against us. And number 2 thing is you can't give up big plays. That's in the passing game and the run game, whatever it might be. You cannot give up big plays. So if you go up there and you stop the run and you force them to throw the ball, get them in some 3rd and long situations, and you don't give up the big play for momentum purposes, that's the recipe to succeed.
Ohio State eliminated both of those things in that blowout win over Michigan State. We're going to see what we can learn from that as they bottled up Kenneth Walker, what that might mean for Saturday at noon. We're going to let Zach dive into it right now. Let's roll the tape. All right, Zach, when you play, this guy, Kenneth Walker, we're not going to take anything away from his skills. We've seen what he's done throughout this season. He was a Heisman Trophy contender for a reason, but he gets 6 carries in this game. And if I had told you that last week going into it, I'm sure you would have felt pretty good about Ohio State's chances.
100% would have. And knowing, everyone wants to talk about Kenneth Walker only getting 6 carries. Well, guess what? When you have the offense that Ohio State does and the defense isn't letting up any big plays, guess what? You're forced to throw the football. You can't let this guy get 25, 30 carries in a game, which I'm sure Michigan State wanted. But here early on the game, man, Haskell Garrett knew what today meant to him being a senior, his senior day. He was playing like a beast all game long. And you start off here early, obviously the great swim move, getting penetration. And guess what? Then you've got the other silver bullets flying to the football, and wanting to take down Kenneth Walker.
You see Craig Young was out there early. So there's been still a little tweaking as Ohio State has gone along. And, we worried about or asked about that early in the season, that the creativity they were playing with, was it too much? I think they've started to figure out who fits where the best. And that means you can sometimes still sub, but you know what that role is going to be. It's more clearly defined maybe than it was 2 months ago.
Yeah, for sure. And I completely agree with you. Granted, there's those young guys that are kind of rotating, that you're seeing some new faces, are still making plays. And that's the great thing, right? They're getting into the game. The plays that they are getting in there, they're being successful at them. Here, Ronnie Hickman takes a bad angle. Guess what? He's not really touched. He doesn't keep outside leverage here when he should have not gotten so much into the junk, as they call it, close to the line of scrimmage and inside. All he needs to do is fire right here. Get up and get to Kenneth Walker's outside shoulder, but instead kind of sits there, gets flat-footed. Kenneth Walker obviously was a good running back. Everyone knew that coming in this game. Gets a stiff arm and gets some yards here. But, man, you can still see that everything was earned. Had to make stiff arms, had to make some plays just to get a 10-yard carry right here.
I just want to freeze it right here. This will be the officiating tape for the week. That's still not legal to do that. This has been happening for a month.
Hey, listen, I thought the officiating is absolutely atrocious in the Big Ten. Granted, I thought Saturday was maybe the best that they've done all season long, and it still had some really bad calls. You know what? We'll see who that crew is this Saturday in Ann Arbor. That's gonna be big.
All right, this was the only one really that Kenneth Walker popped, and you could see that they had a good scheme here. Tommy Eichenberg. When I watched it live, I thought, what happened here? He got cut and he couldn't really recover to make this play.
Yeah, Steel Chambers doing what he's supposed to do. There's a lead blocker here, almost like a fullback. He's got to take on his outside shoulder. You see right here. Tommy gets cut. Granted, he's just got to be better with his hands. Tommy Eichenberg has been playing great towards the end of the season and played really well on Saturday. But here, you practice it all the time in individual drills at Ohio State. Guys are going to come out and cut on you. You got to be able to push down with your hands, play off of it. And here you see him just get clipped, and he's not able to recover. But there, if he did and was playing off, God, Kenneth Walker would have been running the backside, or Tommy Eichenberg would have been running the backside scrape right into Kenneth Walker's face as soon as he went to make that cut.
Yeah, it would have worked. Sometimes that happens, right? I mean, so we give Walker credit. Michigan State had won a lot of games this year and had a pretty good rushing attack. They were going to hit some. But, again, this is the way that they rallied to the football, and Bryson Shaw helps get it down, and see Cam Brown flying in. There wasn't quite as much of that happening in September as there was on Saturday.
No, and it's effort and attitude. These guys are running to the football with a purpose, and all the silver bullets are flying where you didn't see that early on the season. Now, guys going to break some runs, but here, look at this, man. God, the Ohio State defense, just Kenneth Walker literally has nowhere to go. These guys are shooting perfectly, keeping their outside shoulders free. Defensive line's getting pressure. I mean, that is how you stop the run, and that's what Kenneth Walker was seeing all day. He'd get the ball, see some kind of space, see a guy shoot, have to make a cut, and there was just nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, Haskell Garrett again showing up. He was, as you said, at his best. Thought that was the best he'd played since really last season. And then sometimes you just dial up the right one.
You do. And, it's almost like this defense has almost been finding that same rhythm that this Ohio State offense has been having the past couple of weeks. And it's like you just dial things up at the right time. And Matt Barnes has just been on it this year. And you see the blitz right here, Lathan Ransom making the play. I mean, Kenneth Walker's about to get hit as soon as he touches the football. I mean, he's probably getting up from this play like, I don't even have a chance, man. Like, what can I do? But man, this is dialed up perfectly. Lathan Ransom, the only thing he's got to do, keep your feet, keep your head up, make the play here. But you see, Jean Baptiste, man, getting to the football, realizing what's going. Linebackers reacting. Defensive line still keeping their shoulders open, or their proper shoulders free. I mean, they put on a clinic on how to stop the run on Saturday.
And for you, how encouraging, or I don't know the word for it, I'll let you describe it, to see this kind of performance against Michigan State's rushing attack before getting ready for the game. How much does that matter for you?
It's huge. It's huge. Michigan, especially with Jim Harbaugh, is built on running the football. That is what they do. They got the Haskins kid, and they got little number 2, little shifty guy, right? And they go back and forth kind of like thunder and lightning, and that's a recipe. Cade McNamara is not going to beat you with his arms through the air. They're going to try to run the football and establish it early, and then try and open up the things off the play action. If Ohio State can do this, and you see Tommy Eichenberg right here shooting the gap and getting a tackle for a loss. I mean, this is how you play the run early on the season. And there you see right here, a guy wants to go cut him, plays off it, shoots it. So much time early on the season, these guys were playing flat-footed and trying to say, okay, where do I go? Where do I go? Instead, they're reading, reacting, see it, and they're firing. And that's how you play defense, man. And to see these linebackers play the way they are, to see Haskell Garrett play the way he did last week, that is a great sign going up to Ann Arbor against Michigan.
All right, Silver Bullets are looking ready Saturday at noon. Zach Boren, I know, can't wait. Think he's going to be up there along, maybe not with us. He's going to be enjoying it in a different way while we're working, but we'll all have it covered, right?
We will. We will all have it covered. You're going to be writing it everything up. I'm going to be cheering, wearing my scarlet and gray in a big Michigan fan section, probably drinking a couple Bloody Marys, having myself a good old time.
I love it. That's what this time of year is for. High stakes. You wouldn't have it any other way for the game, Ohio State, Michigan on Saturday at noon. We have a lot of coverage for that all week long. Zach, happy Thanksgiving and happy BuckIQ.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Big week.
All right, for Zach, I'm Austin Ward. This has been Lettermen Row BuckIQ. Stay with us for full coverage all week leading up to the game.